somebody, anybody, everybody scream!
Do I look like a freshly baked bum? Yes. Do I care? No. Is this the second time that I am filming this video? Yes. Do I feel like 99 cents? Yes. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, Illum Reads. My name is Will, and as you can see, I've hauled quite a bit of books. All of these books here are on the top shelf. There are books on my second shelf. I don't have any on my bottom shelf because I just put random crap there. But I do have some books behind me that I've hauled / also still need to read. Quick disclaimer, these books that I am just going to briefly talk about, they are all books that I have been able to haul over time. So this video is going to be more of a book haul / books that I still need to read / I need help. After I do this video, I am cutting myself off and me and my wallet will be going to book jail. But anyway, another quick disclaimer, I don't want this video to be or even seem like one of those book haul videos where it's like, oh, look at me portraying my privilege. Absolutely not. Number one, I am not that type of person. Number two, as I said earlier, these are all books that were hauled over time and books that I still need to read. It has taken me quite a little bit to acquire the stack of unread books that I still need to go through. Number three, this also isn't one of those videos where I don't want to seem like all I do is just throw away money, because I absolutely, positively do not do that. I am still a broke black man in America, but I am very grateful for what I've been able to acquire through time. But I'm not going to talk your ear off, so let's get to the core of this video. Okay, so all of the books I'm going to talk about, they are also on my map to get through and to finish in 2025. This is a big goal, only because these books I have held on to for quite a little bit. It is just because when I picked up these books or when I was gifted these books, I wasn't necessarily in the mood for certain genres, but I knew that also due to our economic climate, if I didn't pick up those books when I could have, they would have disappeared. Let's be for real. Consumerism, if that's the right word, isn't as it used to be. Certain products no longer remain on shelves as long as they used to be. But anyway, so if you haven't seen already, I have hauled the Inheritance Games series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. The book club that I'm a part of, Tathy's Cozy Readers. The first book, The Inheritance Game, it was one of the books that we had read and was on our radar a few years ago. However, during the time, I really didn't have a great job at the time, so I couldn't get the book. But I was recently able to get all 4 books from Target for cheap. So when I saw that they had all 4, I picked them up immediately and I am going to get through these. So this next series was gifted to me by my best friend for Christmas. It is the Cruel Prince series by Holly Black. This series has been on my radar for quite some time. I remember when it was extremely popular several years ago, but again, at the time, I just couldn't afford it. But thankfully, I had a best friend who remembered, and she gifted the first 3 books in the Cruel Prince series to me last Christmas, and I am very interested in getting to these really soon. The next book I just picked up recently. It just came out, I believe it was last Tuesday. I could be wrong. It is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I do know that this book takes place centered around Haymitch. It is set during the drawing of the 50th annual Hunger Games during its quarter quell. I don't know too much about it. I have been avoiding any spoilers, but I'm excited to dive back into the world of the Hunger Games. The first three books were some of my favorite books of all time. I wasn't too much of a fan of The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes when I read it. I read it back in like 2020. I remember because it was COVID around that time. I was kind of like whatever about it, but I do like the character of Hamish. I liked his characterization in the books. I liked his portrayal in the movies. So I am interested to see even more of his backstory real soon. So this next book is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This is the current book that we are reading in Tathy's Cozy's Readers Book Club. To be honest, I have not started it yet. We're supposed to be reading this month, but the reason I haven't started it yet was because I'm currently reading another book. I've kind of like just been enthralled in this one. It's a short book, so I'm getting through it pretty quickly. But I am looking forward to getting to this one. I believe this deals with like Fae culture. It's a fantasy romance novel, so yeah, we'll see. Okay, so this next one is Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth. So I initially picked this book up, and this book has been on my radar for years because even though I did not necessarily care for the Divergent series by Veronica Roth, I actually DNF'd the series during the second book. I believe that is Insurgent. I just couldn't get into it, but I picked up Chosen Ones because I did enjoy Veronica Roth's Carve the Mark series. It's a duology, and I believe that one, if I remember correctly, was a high fantasy, sort of kind of sci-fi-ish, I believe it was. I enjoyed that duology very, very much. I remember that I made a booktube video about it a few years back, and because that this is like another fantasy book, it deals with like, I think like 5 teenagers who are surrounded by like this prophecy of taking down the Dark One. They're referenced as like the Chosen Ones and everything. It sounded really interesting to me, so I'm looking forward to getting to this one really soon. This next book is called The Cartographers by Pang Shepard. To tell you the truth, I do not remember what this is about. I saw this book when I used to work at my local Books A Million before it shut down. I remember finding the premise of it intriguing, but I do know that it was one that I really, really wanted to get to. So the next 2 books are poetry books. The first one is I Would Leave Me If I Could by Halsey. Halsey happens to be like one of my favorite lyricists of like the 21st century. I will tell you the truth that I was initially hesitant because the cover kind of like drew me off in a way, but I believe that she actually drew the art herself. So I really wasn't knowing too much about what I was getting into until like I found out that it was a poetry book, and you guys know my love of poetry, so yeah. The other one is like another poetry book, but it also has like letters and recipes and also like essays. It is called Why Fathers Cry at Night by Kwame Alexander. I was very interested in this because it deals with the thoughts and the inklings of a father. If you guys don't know, I never had the best relationship with my own father. I believe that this also surrounds Kwame's relationship with his own father, or maybe just his relationship being a father, because it tells the tale of like what a father thinks, what a father feels, why he does certain things that he does. Plus, it has recipes in it and love poems. I'm here for it. The next book is The Night We Lost Him by Laura Dave. This is a mystery thriller book. I absolutely love mystery thrillers. I have her other book, The Last Thing That He Told Me. I haven't read either or yet, but I remember being in like this space of I want to read mystery. I want to read thriller genres so much more, because at the time I was in quite a book slump and I just needed something that would like keep me going and going and going, and it sounded like these 2 books by Laura Dave would be what I was looking for, so I am very interested in getting to these soon. So I recently just hauled these next 2 books. It is the Darkness Outside Us trilogy by Elliot Schreifer. Please forgive me if I do pronounce some of these names wrong. This is an LGBT sci-fi space romance type of novel. It is YA. I found the premise behind like these two books very, very interesting. The two protagonists are kind of stranded out in space. One of the protagonists finds that like the operating system is voiced by his mother. At first they're like sworn enemies, and I believe like the one protagonist, he's actually on this mission in space to rescue his sister. However, of course, things go awry. It sounded very, very intriguing to me. So these next two books, actually three books, I started the first book in this series. It was pretty lackluster for me. It wasn't what I was expecting, but it is the Defy the Night series by Bridget Kemmer. I thought that this was going to be more of a fantasy series like her previous series, A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I absolutely love the first two books in that series, and I knew that the Defy the Night series was going to be very different from that series. It just wasn't what I was expecting, at least not the first book. I'm not going to DNF the series. I do want to continue with it. I am hoping that the second book is a lot better. This next one is The Door of No Return by Kwame Alexander. I believe like this is a novel told in verse that surrounds the life of young Kofi. I don't know too much about it. When I was like looking into more of Kwame's other books and everything like that, this one caught my interest. I just don't remember what the premise is exactly, but I am looking forward to getting to this one as well. This next one is Hera by Jennifer Saint. If you guys don't know, I do absolutely love Greek mythology. Hera was always an interesting character to me because of her different portrayals within like Greek mythology. If you guys don't know, Hera is the wife and the sister of the god of thunder, Zeus. Although she's not my favorite Greek god or goddess, I still wanted to see and read about this certain interpretation. Because like I said, there are many interpretations surrounding Greek mythology, and I'm just interested to see what this one has to offer. The next book is Spellbound by R.T. Lukens. Right now I am actually reading their other book, Otherworldly. I am more than halfway through it. I am really enjoying this. I don't know too much about what this one is about. I do know that it is a fantasy mystery / romance, and you honestly don't have to tell me anything more than that. Okay, so these other books I briefly spoke about on like my other channel. Not my other channel, I am so sorry. I briefly spoke about these other books in a different video, so I'm just gonna go through them fairly quickly. I have the second and third book, A Curse for True Love and The Ballad of Never After. These are the second and third books in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series by Stephanie Garber. As mentioned before in my other video, I absolutely love the first book, and I do plan on getting to these next two this year. This book I did speak about a little bit in my previous video, The Stars Are Dying by Chloe C. Penaranda. I am so sorry again if I mispronounced these names. This is a fantasy romance that deals with like vampires and I think fae. My memory sucks, guys, and it makes me a horrible booktuber. But such is my chaotic life. This next one is Forging Silver into Stars by Bridget Kemmer. I believe that this one is still in the same universe as A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I'm interested in getting to this one. I did hear that I believe it's the second book in this series. I also spoke about this one. This is How to Be Loved by Humble the Poet. I also picked up These Deadly Prophecies by Andrea Tang, and this is another fantasy book. This next book I got from hearing about it from the booktuber Jesse the Reader. It is An Arrow to the Moon by Emily X.R. Pan. This one is a Romeo and Juliet meets Chinese mythology. This sounded extremely interesting to me. I also picked up Babel by R.F. Kuang. I don't know too much about the premise of this book here. I do know that it is pretty hefty. Originally why I picked it up was because I thought that it was going to kind of surround the biblical story of the Tower of Babel. That's what it reminded me of, which is why I picked it up. So we'll see. I have the second book in the Furyborn series, King's Bane by Claire Legrand. I thought that I had picked up the first one. I didn't realize that this one was the second one until I got home and I read that this is the Imperium Trilogy Book 2. I also hauled Heartless by Marissa Meyer. So I also picked up the Atlas 6. I know that years ago this book was making its rounds within like the book community. I just haven't been in the mood for a heavy book such as this. Alright, going to the second shelf here. I picked up The Musicians by Lev Grossman. I also have the Six of Crows series. I have The Boy in the Striped Pajamas by John Boone. There is also Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Whitson. There is also Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I also picked up The Night Circus by Aaron Morgenstern. I heard great things about this from watching a Clockwork Readers video. I have the second book in the Boyfriend Material duology. This is the Husband Material by Alexis Hall. I also have A Dash of Salt and Pepper by Kosovo Jackson. This is Athena's Child by Hannah Lynn. Again, this is told around more Greek mythology. This is about the goddess Athena, who is a child of Zeus. This next one I finally picked up. It is the second book in the Aristotle and Dante series. This one is Aristotle and Dante Dive into the Waters of the World. I read the first book a few years ago. I absolutely enjoyed that first book. I think I gave it 5 stars when I read it. And the next one is Enigma Variations by Andre Ackerman. This next book is a poetry book by Parker Lee called Espresso Shots and Forget-Me-Nots. These are their selected poems. I love their poetry. I love their writing, and I am very interested in getting to this one. I also have a middle grade book by a friend of mine, and it's called The Carver and the Queen. And the last book on my book cart is Blackout by Danielle Clayton, Tiffany D. Jackson, Nick Stone, Angie Thomas, Ashley Woodfolk, and Nicola Yoon. Okay guys, that is all that is on my bookshelf, but real quickly, I just want to tell you guys that I finally picked up the ACOTAR series. I picked this up yesterday. My best friend has been wanting me to read this series for a little while now. I have just been busy with everything else. That was a lot. I am sorry for the chaotic mess, you guys. I forgot one book. I forgot that I hauled the second book in the Fruits Basket series. You guys, I loved this anime. I don't think that this anime gets enough credit. Okay, now we're done. Again, I know that this was a lot. I'm very, very sorry, you guys. Despite the chaos, I do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Talk to me down in the comments. I enjoy hearing from you guys very, very much. If you have read any of these books, if you care to share your opinions, please let me know in the comments. But I am tired, so if there are no more questions,
I'm gonna go.
I'll see you guys in the next one.